It's a First Amendment fight for the digital age. The justices today wrestling with a pair of sweeping laws restricting how social media giants like Facebook and Google decide what and who you see online.
These big tech oligarchs have made themselves the gatekeepers of free speech, and nobody gets to do that in America.
The government cannot violate the First Amendment, and it especially cannot do so in the name of preserving free speech. That is Orwellian.
At issue, laws passed in Texas and Florida after former President Donald Trump was kicked off social media in the wake of the Capitol attack on January 6. The states restricting social media platforms from blocking users for their views and burying certain content, moves they say are needed because conservative voices are stifled online. But the companies say those laws infringe on their free speech rights, hampering their ability to police their own platforms, a concern the justices highlighted during arguments today.
When the government excludes speech from the public square, that is obviously a violation of the First Amendment. When a private individual or private entity makes decisions about what to include and what to exclude, that's protected, generally, editorial discretion.
The ultimate outcome likely turning on whether the high court views social media giants more like newspapers, free to make their own editorial choices, or more like phone companies, open to all regardless of what a customer says or writes.
And Laura, you listened to the arguments. Did you get a sense which way they're leaning on this?
Lester, this is a tricky one. Many of the justices seemed uncomfortable with the states telling private companies how to run their businesses. At the same time, other members of the court seemed troubled by giving companies carte blanche for censorship, especially given how powerful they've become. Either way, we can expect a decision later this summer, Lester.
All right, Laura, thank you for that. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.